Alright guys, so if you're watching this video, you most likely have an off-road lawnmower, well, an all-terrain mud mower, whatever you want to call it, or you are in the process of making one. And if you're part of either of those categories, your hood may be held on by something like this, a big piece of plastic. And as you know, plastic, when it gets cold, most of them get kind of brittle and they can snap, like what happened here on my Murray. So today I'll be showing you guys how to fix this up so you're going to be able to keep using your hood. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of metal. I used some thin aluminum. It was from like when you're making your door frames, one of those slider things that so you don't catch your toe on the gap and it covers it up. So I hammered it out flat. And I hammered down the bead at the end so it doesn't have a bead anymore. And now the first thing you're gonna want to do is line it up as good as possible to cover much space as you can. Mine is right up against the light housing and this right here, so that's where it's gonna be. And I'm gonna take my broken off piece, line it up, and then take something like a pick right now because I don't have anything else to use, and scratch out the outline of the broken piece. There we go, that's looking good. You can see that right there where I need to cut, so I'm going to break out an angle grinder and do that right now. Okay, so now that I got my piece of metal marked out, I'm going to take my angle grinder with the cutoff wheel and make a cut down right here and then across, and then I'm going to get ready to attach it to the piece of plastic. That's kind of hot. So I got my piece cut out and I'm gonna trim this little last bit up. Okay, got it cleaned up. Putty knife. Good for more than putty. Alright, so now let's see how that fits up on the light mount. Yeah, you can see the light mount right there. See right there that fits in just like that, and that's not bad. Okay, so now that we got our first piece cut out, I did a little bit of modification. Instead of cutting at an angle, I cut it more straight and then cut in going like this. Sorry, that was out of frame there for a second. And also I made this notch right here because, as you can see, this sticks out a little bit, and that would be interfering, and I don't want any interference because I want this to be as strong as possible and and have something to rest on fully. So now that fits in there just about perfectly. So you can see like that, everything's touching, everything's more secure now than it was before. So now what I have to do is copy this to the piece of metal again so I can make a copy of it. Okay, I have it all scribed out. Now I'm gonna go over and cut it. Actually, first what I need to do is I didn't flatten out the bead all the way, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Okay, that's pretty straight. I'm gonna fix it a little on the other side. And don't forget your safety gear, that's always important. Okay, yeah, I forgot not to touch that stuff. You can probably see right there. Hold on, let me get some better lighting. I burned myself pretty good. You can see the marks of my flesh where it kind of killed off the skin, but that's alright, don't hurt too bad. So I'm gonna put on some gloves and continue to grind this piece out, which I probably should have had on anyways. These are some the gloves I'm wearing are some mechanics original gloves in black. See right there, they should offer me enough protection. And the funny thing is too, I was about to grab this and I'm like, I probably shouldn't do that, you know, I'm gonna hurt myself, but being a dumbass, I grabbed it. So now I'm gonna make the straight cut going down. Again, take the handy dandy putty knife and get rid of the burr. Okay, you can see there the piece is almost completed. I just need to make a cut here and a cut here, and then I'll be done with this piece. For now, at least. Alright, it's looking pretty good. I got both notches cut out and all the flats cut, so I just gotta clean it up. And then this bracket is good for now until we start marking out the holes. Alright, so now that I have my holes marked out, I'm gonna start drilling them. You're gonna want to have your drill on the slower speed. Alright, so it drilled through the plastic just fine, and I'm gonna just drill in enough for it to make a little point on the aluminum below, so there's not enough support underneath to drill all the way through. Okay, you can see right there, there's 3 points where the aluminum has been hit with the tip of the drill, so I'm gonna drill through that right now. Alright, so now you can see that is countersunk on both sides, so that goes below the surface of the aluminum. I'm going to do this one a little bit more. Okay, now they're all good. So I'm going to get my mount, make sure all the holes line up, that's important. Right, and since I didn't drill all the way through the aluminum, the drill bit didn't make it all the way through there in some of the holes. I'm going to clean up the holes on this side again so there's not the space in there. Alright, so all the holes line up. Hope you guys can see that there. So what I'm gonna do next is grab my pot rivet gun and then pop the rivets into place. And so since this is going to be outside, you're going to want the nicer looking hole, or the nicer looking side, which is the side with the nail on it. And to use the pop rivet gun, if you've never used one before, you just slide it down on the end, squeeze it in. Okay, so I got the next smaller size of pop rivet right here because the bigger one didn't work. That one appears to be pretty good, so I'm going to move on to the next one. Alright, so our next step, once we have all of our parts riveted on, is to take a drill bit and drill out where the bolt will go through for the pivot. Alright, we have now drilled our hole through the piece of aluminum and the plastic. You can, well, not the plastic, you can see that right there. Now we are just about done with this side, and we can now move on to the other side. Alright, so I got this side finished up. And a little correction is ½ inch, not whatever I said before, 7/16 or something like that. I have 6 pop rivets in it, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ½ inch hole. I'm missing a chunk right here, but that shouldn't be detrimental to the whole thing. You can see there's a piece of aluminum, there's the back side. On the other side is where I run into the problem. Pretty much identical in the way it broke to this side, but I don't have the piece that would go right here, so I'll have to find some other piece of about 1/8 inch thick plastic or something to go right there, so that's going to be interesting. So if you did have that piece, you'd do the exact same thing that you did to this side to that side, and then you'd be done. So also another thing you're gonna want to make sure you do is to make sure that your nuts and bolts and washers all fit through there, because your rivets might get in the way and you're gonna have to drill them out and stuff. I did test this, it does all fit. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, the Wisconsin Redneck 5160. Thank you and goodbye.